Let's dive right into this. Look, there is a really good chance you're feeling a very specific kind of exhausting right now. You know the one. You might be in your 20s, staring out the window on your evening commute, scrolling endlessly through social media, and you just have this heavy, sinking suspension that literally everyone else has their lives completely figured out, and you are somehow profoundly behind. The pressure to succeed right now, it can be paralyzing. It really feels like you're lost in this massive quarter-life crisis, totally overwhelmed by where your life is even headed. I get it, I really do. But I want you to just take a deep breath because we're going to look at some incredible insights today in this explainer that will honestly completely reframe that anxiety.
So, the very first thing we absolutely need to internalize is this. You are not running out of time, period. Think of this whole explainer as just a late-night conversation with a friend who actually understands the weight you're carrying right now. We're going to step away from all that panic, all that pressure, and we're going to look at a highly structured, surprisingly comforting, and actually ancient way of looking at your life.
Section 1. The illusion of falling behind.
You know, modern hustle culture and social media, they constantly demand that we have these massive, rigid 5-year plans. We obsess over these huge future milestones, right? And when we don't hit them instantly, we feel like total failures. But the reality, the absolute grounded truth of the matter is that you only control right now, this very second. The crushing weight you're feeling, it isn't actually from the present moment. It's from trying to carry 5 years of an unwritten future on your shoulders today.
Moving on to Section 2. The weight of the future. And actually, feeling stuck isn't a new problem at all. The source text we're looking at here outlines a truly timeless piece of wisdom. Because feelings of lost momentum, procrastination, that terrifying lack of control, these are human conditions that have been discussed for literally thousands of years. We really don't need a complex new app to fix this whole thing. Instead, we need to look back at the simple grounding philosophy outlined right in these pages, which perfectly connects ancient Stoicism to modern productivity.
Just listen to this incredible quote from the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus. He wrote in his discourses, and I love this, "If you don't wish to be a hothead, don't feed your habit. Try as a first step to remain calm and count the days you haven't been angry." He's basically talking about taking a habit, which in his case was anger, and just counting the days. He writes about going from being angry every single day to every other day to eventually making it to 30 days and then maybe 3 or 4 months. Epictetus realized way back then that to eliminate a negative feeling or habit, you don't conquer your entire life all at once. No way. You just focus on the daily, incremental progress. You just count the days.
Which brings us to Section 3. The chain method.
Incredibly enough, Epictetus's ancient philosophy was actually adapted centuries later by the comedian Jerry Seinfeld. Seinfeld once gave a young comic named Brad Isaac some painfully simple advice on how to create material. It goes like this. Step 1. Do the thing today. Step 2. Put a big X on your calendar for the day. And Step 3. Don't break the chain. Now notice what's missing there. There's absolutely no 5-year plan. There's no agonizing over whether you're falling behind your peers. There is literally only today's X.
The absolutely crucial point here is that success equals momentum. Whether you're using Seinfeld's method to build up a positive habit, like writing or exercising, or you're using Epictetus's method to eliminate a negative habit like procrastination, wandering eyes, or a bad temper, the underlying mechanism is completely identical. Once you get a little momentum going, it becomes so much easier to just keep it going. Your entire definition of success shrinks down from this overwhelming figuring out my whole life thing to simply protecting your streak.
And that leads us to Section 4, 1 day at a time.
The source text actually makes a really beautiful comparison here. It notes that this whole approach isn't all that different from taking sobriety strictly 1 day at a time. So when you feel completely lost or totally overwhelmed by that crushing pressure to succeed, I want you to remember this. Just start with 1 day doing whatever it is. Then do the exact same thing the following day and the day after that. Build a chain, and then just work not to break it. You are not responsible for the next decade today. That massive burden of your future, it's literally an illusion. Your only real job right now is to just handle today's link in the chain.
So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. What is one small link you can add to your chain today? You really don't have to have it all figured out right now. In fact, you are exactly where you need to be to draw your first X on the calendar. So take a breath, drop those heavy, impossible expectations, and just focus on today's manageable action. Thank you so much for joining me for this, and I absolutely can't wait to explore some more incredible ideas with you next time.